Alright, well, we might as well start with linear equations. I'm going to just spend one video on linear equations. Basically, linear equations are equations that are in straight lines. In other words, they go in straight lines like this, or like this. Doesn't matter the direction, or like this, but it's pretty much a straight line. Other equations like quadratics and higher degree equations, the curves will change directions, but linears will not. So in linear equations, they basically are of the form, let's call it y equals mx plus b, okay? Where this m here on the variable term x is the slope. In other words, the the slope here of the line, and then the plus b is the y-intercept. So where the equation crosses the y-axis. So let's say let's say that the b was a 5. That means that we didn't know anything else, but that means that the line would cross the y-axis here at 5. Okay, and we'll just go ahead with some examples of linear equations. Let's look at the book here. Slope. Let me talk a little bit more about slope. The slope, let's just use this right here, is known as the amount of rise. If you go from left to right on the equation, the amount of rise over the amount of run. Okay, so however long it goes, that's the run, and how much up it goes or down it goes is the rise. And since this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis, of course, rise, let's just think about this. This much change in y and this much change in x and this much change in y. So the change in y right here would be the amount of rise. Okay, so this delta sign means change. So change in y would be up and down, and change in x would be left and right. So that would be your run, change in x that way. Okay, I don't know if I'm losing my space or not, but okay. So that m, you can calculate that m by saying you take, if you're given 2 points, you take in the first y and subtracting off the second one, or the second one minus the first, doesn't really matter, as long as you take whatever order x and subtract the other x. That's if you're given 2 points. That would give you the slope between the 2 points. I'll do examples of all this here in just a minute and on the next video. But that's important, okay? That's important to linear equations. Alright, the other equation, the other form for linear equations besides the y equals mx plus b, which is called the slope intercept form, because you're given a slope and an intercept. The other form is the point slope form, which means that if you're given information about the equation, you're given information about a point and a slope. Okay. So that equation would be y2 minus y1, or maybe different subscripts there, but y2 minus y1 would do just fine, is equal to m times the quantity x2 minus x1. Okay. Now let's say you're given a point of 4 and 3. If you're given a point of 4 and 3, this is x and this is y, then you could fill this out, because you could calculate the well, and let's say you're given a slope of 4. Then you could fill it out. So you'd put the slope in here, and then you would put the point in here, leaving the other y or x empty, leaving it there as a y or an x, so that it'd be an equation. Sorry, I don't feel like I'm explaining it too well, but let's go to an example now. Right quick, let's pick one out of this book. It says construct an equation for a slope of -4 and an intercept of 0 and -3/2. Slope of 4 and an intercept of 0 and -3/2. Okay. All right, so we're given a slope and a point. So we're going to use the point slope form right here. All right, so y and then minus this y, okay, which is a -3/2 times m, which they said was 4, okay, times the quantity x minus the x are given us here 0, which is 0. Now we'll clean this up, solve it for y, and we'll have it into the correct form, and the correct form will be there, right there. So let's distribute the 4 here. First of all, y minus a -3/2 is the same thing as y plus 3/2, and then 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 0 is 0, so we don't need to do anything there. Last step on getting this into this form here would be to move the 3/2 to the other side. In this case, since it's being added, we could do that by subtracting, so we would have y equals 4x minus 3/2. Okay, so what that means is we have a line that's for every 4 that it goes up. So, well, let's start here at the slope-intercept, -3/2. That's 1.5. So, right here, that's the y-intercept. And for every 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, I go 1 over, okay? So it's a 4 over 1, 4. Okay, so 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 over, okay? Now we can go in reverse, 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 over. Just make sure to go the opposite way. Okay, so we're looking at a line like that right there in this case. Alright, well, I will upload more examples of linear equations here just momentarily.